And then when you throw in on top of that, that some of these men are balding, they're older, they have fat stomachs, they're out of shape, they're funny looking, they don't have sexual prowess. When you add that on top of can't compete in the United States, you're dealing with something unique and special. That's all I'm saying. Because they can't compete, because maybe they're not attractive, maybe they're socially awkward, maybe they're fat, maybe their penis doesn't work.
Why would you say that?
Fix it.
Why would you say
Let
that?
me tell you how I know that it's pay for play and that people treat you different based on having money. Because I can see a cripple or a wheelchair ridden man in Dominican Republic with a sexy 17, 18-year-old sitting on his lap, treating him like he's the king of England. I see that. Bald men with fat, pasty white Canadians. Oh, I see some stuff. I'll be like, girl, you couldn't pay me to do that.
Can you clarify something for me, please?
That's gross.
Clarify something for me, because you said that there are a lot more women here but it's men. It's because their penis size and stuff. They can't get those women.
Well, not but penis size. It's just
like there are things where they can't get them. But the men want fit women, and 55% of black women are.
But a lot of the guys that I see walking the streets in Dominican Republic, they're not fit either. They're fat and they're old and they're balding. Men, they're unattractive. I'm telling you what I see.
I said woman. These men want fit woman,
but they're not fit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. A lot of them are.
It don't matter if they're fit. I want a man who can provide. I'm not a provider. It doesn't matter. Like,
I'm just telling you that a lot of the ones that are, you're not listening.
All right, we're going to focus on the question that I was
trying to ask you.
Just
don't hang up on me again, please.
We're going to focus on the question that I'm trying to ask you, okay?
Why can't we just have a conversation instead of you trying to direct the conversation to a narrative that you already have?
You just said something, and I'm trying to get clarification on what you just said.
I'm listening.
If men want fit women, and majority of the women in America are obese, then do you think that it's because their penis small, or they need to work on themselves, or they can't talk to women, why they're not getting the relationship? Or do you think then it's just the pool is small?
I don't think there's any shortage of women. I think they can't compete for those that are fit, friendly, and beautiful. They can't compete. It's kind of like one of those things when you're running a race, there's only going to be one winner. So you have all these men running towards the fit, beautiful women, or whatever y'all want to call it. And it's like the ones who come in last, they miss out. They just can't compete. They can't.
So there's a smaller. And you're 100% right. I want to ask you this though, because it's a smaller percentage. It's a smaller percentage of fit feminine women here in the States.
That's the narrative you want to run with.
These men don't want to compete because, as you said, they can't compete. So these men can't compete for let's say, and I don't know, but let's say the 45% of women who are fit and the 55% of women who are obese, right? There are more obese women than fit women in the States. And these men don't want to compete because the market, like there's not enough.
Okay, Chantel. That let's just say that's true. Let's just say that there's not as many, okay, and they can't compete. Let's say that. And then when you throw in on top of that some of these men are balding, they're older, they have fat stomachs, they're out of shape, they're funny looking, they don't have sexual prowess. When you add that on top of can't compete in the United States, you're dealing with something unique and special. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I hear that. Let's talk about the men who are not fat, who are not balding. Let's say that this man is in the gym on the daily, right? What's that one guy named that whatever, a fit man, right? Muscle, 2% body fat. And he's like, okay, he wants a woman, but 55% of these women are obese. Is it that he can't compete for these women, or is it that the market where he's trying to act, there is a lack of what he wants?
If he could compete, he'd already have one. That's what I'm saying. If he could compete,
but then logically, right? Because you have 4 degrees. You mentioned that you had 4 degrees earlier.
Let's go back to the degree thing. Let's go back, because I heard you insulting my degrees. I have 4 degrees, and I have them in education because I was a teacher. And
are you still a teacher?
Let me finish. I was going to be a college professor, and that's why I got that many degrees. And I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of men are anti-degrees because guess what? A lot of men can't get degrees. They can't commit long enough, and they can't stay focused enough. So they're jealous that women have degrees. Let me.
I hear you, but no, because you're gonna make me miss my train of thoughts, and then you're gonna go on in a different topic. That's not what we're talking about. That's not what. No, but I didn't even ask my question yet.
I'm
you said you have 4 degrees. You say you have 4 degrees, so I want to have this conversation with you, and you were about to be a professor. So let's talk logically, right? Like how professors will talk. Would it make logical sense for a man to stay in a country where there are less of what he wants, or go to a country where he has a lot more options? For example, say I want, I don't know, say I want a black ink pen, but in in America there's only like 4 black ink pens, but in Colombia there are like 100 black ink pens. Would you recommend that I stay in America and compete for the 4 black ink pens, or just go to Colombia where there are 100 black ink pens?
Great question. Let's say, let me add a little bit to that. How about the 4 ink pens cost $100 each, and when you go to the country that has 100 ink pens, they cost $1 each. So you can have so much more opportunity. And so let me tell you this: I am against the lies and the myths. Okay.
Wait. You did not. I what? You did not answer my question. I don't understand what you mean
I'm
by
answering it right now. I'm adding a level to it. I said if you have 4 ink pens, that's all you have available. We're going to go with the scarcity argument, okay? And they cost $100 each. And let's say that man only has probably $10, okay? And I'm basing that on the fact that he can't compete, because if he could, he'd just take that $100 and go buy him one of them 4 ink pens. So he has to go to a country where they have 100 ink pens at $1. Now he's got options and choices, no doubt about it.
What?
Do I understand it logically? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Do I get why some of these unattractive men who can't compete are going abroad? Absolutely. Do I understand? Does it make sense? Absolutely. It makes total logical sense. I understand why. I understand the why, because I watch it walk up and down the street when I go to the Dominican Republic. I look at them and I understand why. Some of them are socially awkward, honey. They don't have social skills. They freeze up when they're around women. I've seen all kinds of brothers walking up and down their street looking for some self-esteem. I know about it. I've seen it. I have experience with it. So my answer to you is this: I am only against the idea of prostitution. I'm against the idea of fooling men by taking their money and making them simps abroad. You don't have to be a simp in America. You don't have to be a simp anywhere. You can find somebody at your level. That's the thing. Well, if you're fat and you're ugly, you can find somebody fat and ugly. But these brothers don't want that. They want to walk around here with an 18-year-old, how you say, perky titty, all of that stuff. That's what they want, but they're not in the ability to compete for them.
Yeah. You can't make this shit up, people. You cannot make this shit up.